Good afternoon. It's not July, it's June the 18th. I'm in the Hotel Saskatchewan, but I am leaving it. Heading home. I was working down here again. I think we'll go down Hamilton and then maybe take a bit of a turn down by the lake just to stretch this out a little bit on the way. I want to go over here and walk through the colonnade of the what are all these people doing out here? Very odd. A whole bunch of people coming down the street. I don't know why. Makes me suspicious. I don't know what this is all about either. They just recently redid all this, and now it's got a fence around it. This little piece of the parking lot. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, yeah, I was doing a lot of publishing stuff. I've got to have my information from my winter books from Shadowpot Press. The metadata had to be entered today. It's due tomorrow, and that's what I was doing. I was only doing 4 because I'm trying to pull back a bit on the pace of releases. So some reprints, but I'm going to get away from doing reprints, I think, going forward here. I don't know why it looks perfectly okay, and yet it's all fenced off. So I don't know what that's all about. Quite a nice little plaza they've created here. Over there is where I often go to the coffee shop, Rude Awakening, more in the winter than in the summer for some reason. And the Edward Tower over there. And yes, these pillars do look like giant bones because of the idea of fossil fuels, you see. Even though, of course, fossil fuels don't really come from dinosaurs. But there was that perception for a long time. We're going to walk down Hamilton here today, I think. So we'll go around the corner. Down this way. This used to be a drive-through, so you could drive through and pay your bill, but they closed that off some time ago and just turned it into a walkway. That used to be the bus station over there, but again, it's not for a long time. In fact, we don't even have a provincial bus company anymore. That space has been filled by something called Rider Express, which used to just do sort of buses for football games, but now has highway buses and actually covers quite a bit of Western Canada. So it really filled the gap that was left when the government and Greyhound both went away. This is the back of Blessed Sacrament Church here. Over there is the Wawa Shrine Center, Shriners. Mostly known for driving around in little cars with fezzes, but they do good work, I guess. I wonder if I should have put my sunglasses on. I still could, I guess. I can get them out. Yeah. Too hard to do with one hand. Hopefully I don't get any dust in my eyes. There you go. The Wawa Shrine Center. It's not raining today, so that's a plus. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but we get one day without it. Which reminds me, I need to take out recycling while I've got a break in the weather. I like this apartment building over here. It's been one of my favorites. Looks very nice. I have no idea what the apartments are like, but I like the exterior at least. Kind of gothic in a way, with the pale apartments there. Quite large too. And there's another old one next to it. building has something to do with the apprenticeship program, I believe. Yes, Saskatchewan Apprenticeship and Trade Certification Commission. I guess there's more people out walking because it's 4:30. People are leaving work, I guess. Just seems like there's more people on the street than I usually see when I walk in my more usual time frames. Apartment building there.
Yeah, it was good.
Now that used to be a Japanese restaurant, and then it was a Western themed restaurant, and now it appears to be an Indian restaurant. Don't know when that change happened. Another old apartment building over there. The Prairie Dog used to be in there, and maybe it still is. That's a local free distribution left-wing newspaper. Central Park here. Not that Central Park, but our Central Park. Another old apartment building over there. This has been a sports field for a long time, and over there in the middle is a little... Oh, hello, crow. Ah! Over there in the middle is a sort of memorial to a famous female baseball player who played in the Women's Professional Baseball League in the States, a league of their own. Best often thought of because of the movie. Who was from here in Regina and played in Central Park here. I'll take the path over here just to make it more interesting. Oh, some get-together going over there. There's often barbecues and things here for various... This is normally roses, but it hasn't been any yet. Is it too early for roses? Oh, here we go. This has a bit of the information. Mary Baker, born in 1919. She was Canada's first female sportscaster with CKRM radio as well. And there's more information about her over there. But I'm not going over there today. Carrying on this way, down to the lake, or at least to the park. Well, Wascana Center. This is a park. Everything's very green, as I keep pointing out, because of all the rain. Large, but rather uninspired apartment building there. No architectural interest. And then this, of course, is the block that we have a condo in one of these three buildings on the other street over there. And this is where Central Collegiate was, Regina's oldest high school. Torn down about the time I moved to Regina in the late 80s, or early 90s. I don't remember exactly, but I remember that it was still kind of here, but being torn down at the time. This was the third of the three condo buildings built on the site. Ours was the second. And the first one, College Gardens, faces onto College Avenue up here, which we are coming to. Very green. Rained quite a bit yesterday, and I believe it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so lots of moisture still coming. At some point, it goes from, well, at least it's good for the farmers, to the farmers could really use some sunny, dry weather. I don't know where we are in that endless cycle. This is a good place to cross because there's a pedestrian crosswalk so I can get a light to cross safely here. I think we'll stretch it out by going that way first. Go around CBC and then go down a bit by the lake. And then I'll see how it plays out from there. Something going on in the soundstage, clearly. A lot of cars parked over there. That, of course, is where I was for my meetings just last week. Maybe I'll go this way instead of going all the way around the soundstage. Well, actually, that wasn't where we were. That's where I went the first day I walked over here, only to find out it was actually over here in this building. Somehow I hadn't actually looked, and I just assumed I knew where it was. And you know what they say about assuming things? It's an ass out of you and me. Oh, here, let's take a look at the frog sculpture, recently renovated, or restored, I guess is a better word. There you go. That's very famous around here, this frog sculpture. And the little plaque over here explains it. All the people who worked on it, and an explanation. If you want to pause and read it, you can do so. One of the most popular public sculptures in Regina, created by Joe Fafard in collaboration with his students. Joe Fafard is a very famous Canadian sculptor. Kind of knew him. He died in 2019. Got to go visit his foundry in Pence a few years ago when the McKinsey Art Gallery was doing sort of artist studio tours. Twilight tours, they called them, because they were always in the evening. They were very interesting, and I wish they'd do them again. Maybe, probably everybody we went to see may be dead, but, well, not quite. I know Victor Sikansky isn't. He was one of the ones we went to, but I don't know about the others who were part of that. Not to be too much of a spoiler, but when Excalibur is reforged and then has to be hidden again, they toss it into the lake right over there. So, according to my books, Excalibur is right over there on the west side of Willow Island. Again, everything is just so green and lush. It's lovely. We'll go this way because I'm actually thinking I will go up by the swimming pool. Now that we've seen the lake, I only promised a bit of the lake, and that was a bit of the lake. I wonder if there's a path. I think there is up here that takes you up towards the swimming pool. If not, I'll just cut across the grass at some point. It's all so green. And yes, it's usually pretty green, but it seems even greener than usual this year because of all the rain we've had. Still some lilacs blooming as well. Then we'll have the mock orange. It comes out later than a lot of others. We have a big one in our backyard. I'm waiting to see bloom. There's some lilacs. And some more. And a butterfly, or possibly a moth. Wild roses, maybe, as well. Might have been what those were. There are shortcuts, but today I'm sticking to the path. Just the other side of that Carragana hedge. You can see the legislative dome peeking up above the bushes over there. Over there is the college building, which we walked by a minute ago. That's where all those meetings were that I went to last week. Yeah, there's a path up here. I thought there was. Takes me the way I want to go. Show me the way to go home. Well, not quite true, but won't be going to bed. We're going to supper before long. I think I'm eating out tonight with my daughter, since my wife is at another function without us. Here we go. I'll go this way. So that was your bit of the lake. You can glimpse it a bit more over there, but I don't think I'll go back by it. I think I'll go up here through the park behind the Royal Saskatchewan Museum. Might even walk up to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, cross Albert up there, or not. We'll see. The pool is open now. Kids and adults have been splashing around in it now for, I think it opened on last week sometime. June 6th, maybe, something like that. I guess that's 2 weeks ago now, almost. Anyway, it's open. And this is it up there, so we will take a turn by it. Don't know if there's anybody swimming right now, but we'll soon know. We will soon know. Over there is the back of Dark Hall, where I did Beauty and the Beast a couple of weeks ago. Three weeks ago now, I guess. And then, of course, I did Beauty and the Beast again as at the ballet. Class X version of it over this last weekend. Well, there's some people splashing around in there. Here's the main entrance. Muscana Pool. Playground over there as well. We'll go up here and walk along the fence line through the grass. Spray park of some sort there as well. Nobody on it, but there it is. And the water slide. Nobody on that either, but a few people in the water. Even though it hasn't rained today, it's still quite wet here in the grass, I see. There's the whole complex. A few people there, not a lot. Water slides may not be open at the moment. My feet are squeaking in the grass. I actually think because it's wet, I will go back to the path here and then join the path I'm headed for in a minute. There's the back of the college building and Dark Hall. This is the credit union building here, recently built. Look at the pool before we say farewell. Farewell, pool. Hello, credit union building. So definitely not a direct route that I'm taking today. Now, how do I want to go? I can take this path over to that crossing, or I can take the path up here. Maybe I'll go up by the Saskatchewan Museum, because I haven't done that for a while. I didn't know what to think of this building when they first built it, but I actually like it now that it's been here a while. The glass and the design really kind of blends it in with the sky and the park. So I actually quite like it now. Of course, there were people that protested it being built. There's always people that protest everything. But they protested when we were building the Kramer IMAX Theater, too, at the Science Center. I don't think anybody regrets that now. It's going to ruin the park. Even though what it replaced was just a kind of temporary-looking shed that had some turbines in it. So I never understood why they thought a modern building taking up basically the same space was going to ruin the park. But there are people who protest things just to protest things. We certainly see that all the time. There seems to be people that's their whole reason for existing is to protest something or other, whether it really needs protesting or not. And even if it puts them on the side of people that most people don't want anything to do with. Okay, we'll go this way, which will take us down to the Royal Saskatchewan. Oh, there's a rabbit, or possibly a hare. Royal Saskatchewan Museum. And then decide which way to go once we get there. View through the trees. I will skirt the puddle. The house is right over there, but can't walk there directly. I have to get across Albert Street for one thing. That's College. The most direct route would be to go to College and just go down across the street, but I'm stretching this out a bit more. For interest's sake, we'll go this way. There's the ledge in the distance, There's another rabbit. Fairly calm one. Not too worried about me. Now we'll go around to the front of the Royal Saskatchewan Museum and then decide. I think I'll probably go up to the College and Albert corner up there. I think it's probably what I'll end up doing here. I remember coming to the Royal Saskatchewan Museum as a kid with a rock that we picked up in Texas with fossils in it. And one of the paleontologists came out and told me what I was looking at. Basically, shells inside a stone that had been rounded off by water over the years. But it was interesting because it was dark and then it had these white fossil shells in it. I don't know where that rock is. Look out there at the top, you'll see the bas relief representations of animals native to Saskatchewan. Moose, and well, some of them are prehistoric because there's sloths and things up there, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe they're all current. Bison, of course. And Museum of Natural History, dedicated to honor all of the settlers, the pioneers who came from many lands to settle this part of Canada, a tribute to their vision, toil, and courage. Gave so much to Saskatchewan and the nature and the nation. And there's a lovely garden here, although only some of it is planted yet. There's kind of the main entrance, although most people actually go in from the other side. Okay, do I go this way? I think so. We'll go up here and cross this way. So before too long, there'll be more plants, I would expect. They've got it marked for planting, it looks like, but haven't planted anything yet. You don't have a very long flower season here. July is not too bad. August it blooms. September looks great, and then it frosts. Often in September, almost certainly by beginning of October. And that's it. You had the 2.5 months of really good flowers if you're lucky. That building was the second SaskTel building. Saskatchewan Government Telephones before that. The first telephone building is that low brick one there, and it actually now belongs to the museum. It's behind me, and there are laboratories in there. You can't cross on this side, at least you're not supposed to. You have to go over and then cross. But since the left turn signal is going there, it shouldn't take too long to switch. As we look north along Albert Street again, which is kind of a familiar sight if you've walked with me before. With the old government telephones building over there, now part of the museum. It's a long left turn signal, especially this time of the day. And then we have to wait quite a bit longer to cross Albert Street. 20 seconds. 14, 13, 12, 11. You can count it down right there. 10, 9, 8. Turning yellow. And there's our work light. So that wasn't such a long wait after all. I guess this time of the day, it's probably more cars coming off of college, so they may adjust it so it changes faster than it does some times of the day. Would not surprise me. Another government building called Cooper Place now. The architect was very unhappy with them, Joe Pettick, when we also did the SAS Power building that I walked by earlier at the start of this walk, when they put this big kind of aluminum cladding on the bottom, because it used to be that the stonework carried down to the ground. He did not like it, but he had no say. Actually, maybe I'll walk along the alley, because I don't do that very often. At least I'll get across the street here. Reminds me, I need to mow my grass. It keeps raining when I think I'll do it today, and then it rains. And I'm reluctant to use an electric lawnmower in the rain. Funny that. Yeah, we had a good friend who lived in a vintage historic house right there that got torn down. This modern one built in its place. They claimed it was unsalvageable, but we were very sorry to see it go. It was a wonderful old house, and of course it had a lot of memories because we've been there so many times when our friend lived there. Had many a barbecue in her backyard, which was beautiful. Was that a Google Street View car? Looked like it had a camera on top of it that just went by at the end of the alley. And there's this big new house being built here, but it's stalled now for quite some time. It says it's sold. Certainly a long way from being finished. Well, I don't know. If it was a Google Street View car, it's out of my sight now, so I can't say one or the other. Davin School dead ahead, across the playground. They call it the Crescents now, but I will always call it Davin because that's what it was when my daughter went there. And because I object to stripping people's names off of things, because some modern activist decides that somehow whatever they believed doesn't pass muster anymore. Looking at you, Toronto, Dundas Street, Yonge and Dundas Square. They want to rename it with a African word that comes from a culture that were brutal slavers in their own right. So, facts and historical nuance never seem to figure into any of this stuff. As I said earlier, there are people who protest things just to protest things, I think. It makes them feel empowered or something, no matter what the negative consequences might be. Almost home. All the front yards are very lush too. That one has some flowers. Very nice. Ours just has shaggy grass. Ours desperately needs to be completely resodded and replanted and landscaped, in other words. But we've got other things to spend that money on right now. So maybe in a couple of years we'll do something with it. Make it look better. The house needs painting too. First we're trying to get this extension built on the back that is taking forever. There's a new house that, except for being like 1.5 times the size of everything else, fits into the neighborhood pretty well. It's like they took this house to the left and pumped it up with air and made it that much bigger. What were big houses when these houses were built are now seen as very small houses, or too small for modern sensibilities anyway. Okay, I will stop here with the lovely yellow house over there. Thank you for walking with me, and I don't know about tomorrow. It depends if it rains or not and what else I have to do, but hopefully. Bye for now.